side, if it's okay. Okay, so good afternoon and thank you to everyone, to Gloria and everyone to be here. So I know that we're tired and so I'm gonna move on to finish this part of the chapter. So my project is called CÂSCARA. CÂSCARA means peel. Basically, I have a personal fascination. I'm an industrial designer and I have a personal fascination with the patterns. Más arriba? Okay, yeah? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I have a personal fascination with the natural bifurcations in trees and in leaves, and I think that it's one of the most beautiful and smart patterns, as you were saying before. It's perfect in its design, thinking of as a design. So my project is a study on it. So here it comes. Okay, so the first chapter of this is time. So the time absurdity that we use in our single-use plastics is of an improportion that is so out of this world that I would like to show a small video to kind of make it evident. So basically, the whole project is based on the difference between use and the use. It's how much time you take to have a coffee and how much time this coffee is going to stay in the earth. So this is kind of a dramatic effect, but I think that it will kind of make our point of how much a dish of plastic that we have a cake on is going to take, and the proportion in minutes, it's basically exponential. So basically one coffee or one dessert takes more time than many species have even lived. So it's kind of based on it. Well, this didn't actually happen in the video, but kind of the point is, like, especially styrofoam is one of the most, well, as you can see, the proportion between minutes, it's a multiplication that you cannot even bear in your mind, and it's a single use, which is so absurd that just like for you to take away your thirst, you're gonna leave something so much time. So here is gonna come what we want to tackle on. And like this last one is like all of the technology in the world to have like a styrofoam being built by a robot, by a huge robot. It's like really ridiculous. So the time imbalance is what we want to tackle on, basically. So our solution and our posture is about peels. It's about using the natural peels that are just so abundant, which means that agricultural waste, what we have, like what we eat, makes so much waste, usable waste, and so much biomass that we could simply shift it and begin using it, and I think that it's more than enough. So what do we want to have as a leftover of what we eat and consume? Is this what we want to have? Or we could have this. So these are rice fields, and this is the rice husk that is the leftover. So I repeat this image because it's really impressive. What do we want to have as a leftover? So okay, so agricultural production generates all the material we need. So this is kind of, so these are the basic materials which we worked on. One is the rose stems, rice husks, and the golden berries, which is one of my personal favorites because it's a very abundant, very beautiful product, and that basically the fruits that we have generate tons weekly of this. So, so I want to make like this emphasis on these contrasts. These are figures about how much we consume. I know that we all know the numbers. But I think that the point is that there is enough biomass, existing biomass, leftovers, to replace all of the single-use plastic that we use. It's available. It's not hard to do. So this is basically our purpose. So this is where we're gonna work on. Do we want to have this as a product, or can we begin exploring? So as in most of the projects, it begins with a journey. So the journey was. So this was it. So it was beginning in India and then in Nepal and then afterwards in Japan to investigate which were the cultures that were more smart about using the existing materials to generate single-use plastics for food. You know, like at least plastic is a material that is very useful in some contexts, but when you have something to eat and you can compare a banana peel with a dish, well, it's absurd. A banana peel is very smart. You just finish it and you can throw it away, and 2 weeks after it's going to be gone. So this journey took me to meet 3 people, which are these. And so this is the first example is India. So in India, this example, they use fallen areca leaves Because it's a very poor country, they use it as they need to use this as their dishes. And I went to this community, which is very beautiful. Do I play? I don't know. Do I play? No, wait. So this is a community of women in the center of India. They sit down, they saw the fallen leaves. They are siali leaves, very beautiful leaves, and they're very abundant. They saw them together. They dry them up, they pile them, and when it's time to use them, they thermoform it with the most rudimentary press. Just put 2 tons of pressure on them, and they generate extremely beautiful products. And that was my first part of my journey, was investigating this community. So look at the beauty of what they can do with fallen leaves, so this was part 1 of the journey. Part 2 of the journey was going to Nepal. So in Nepal, it's kind of very similar, but different in a fashion that ceremonial, because there's also an economic issue into it. Ceremony, like for weddings and for when people are born, these women saw these beautiful plates. They saw them together, and they last like for 3 days. But when they're alive, they're extremely beautiful. They're sewn together. They are used fresh leaves. So when somebody gets married, they're going to use the most beautiful dishes, but 2 days after, the dishes are going to go away, which is being really smart about product. That's much smarter than our usual one. So the third part of my journey was in Japan, which now takes us in a quantum leap of technology and use. So I met this project, which is called Wasara. So this guy invented one of the most beautiful disposable dinnerware, which is this one that you can see over here. They are extremely beautiful aesthetically, and they last about 4 hours. So after you use them, 4 hours after, they begin decomposing. So this is the kind of smartness that we can use, but he puts a beautiful design approach to it. So he's basically fulfilling both of your needs, a need for being very wise ecologically and fulfilling an an aesthetic need that we all have. So I'm gonna move forward, because I think the time is running out. This is a small video of what their products are. So this is bagasse, sugarcane bagasse, and this is the products that they create. So you can see that it's possible to make beautiful yet completely ecological dinnerware. So my process was, as I showed you, investigating on these materials, and this is kind of the equation. Okay, so what if I use fallen leaves? I put a bioplastic film that we developed with corn starch, which is very simple and available. I'm going to pass it around in a second, to kind of create this. So this is like our conceptual image. So this was like the renderings. Okay, so can we generate a beautiful shape, and can we generate a disposable thing that also elevates the experience of when you eat, when you have your dish or your salad in your living room and in your table. You like having a beautiful element. I mean, it elevates you, it elevates the experience itself. So why not combine it and use the existing examples? So these are approximations to it and prototypes. So these are different uses that we can do. So this is going to be the golden berry. So this is like the question. So do we want to use styrofoam with this sterile aesthetic and eternal? This lasts 2,000 years alive. Like just having one beer and you're going to last that. And this, which is also, it's almost like cosmic kind of thing. So this is like the equation. So you put pressure, you put biomass, and you put a film, and then you can create a dish that is going to last. So these are the golden berry that I was talking to you about. This is a very abundant fruit in Colombia and in Latin America. And these are the covering. So it's such a smart fruit that it comes in this beautiful packaging. And this packaging lasts, it has a lot of linen. I don't know if that's the right word, but it lasts a lot. It has very strong fiber. So our appeal is, so we press it, we dry it. This is the material after you dry it, and then you put pressure on it. And then this is what you can actually come up to. You can actually create a dish that is beautiful, and you can face people with the original material that was, which is completely beautiful. It has a beautiful aesthetic to it. And you can actually finish eating, and you can throw it away in the dirt, and it's going to go back. So what do we rather have? Do you want to have this? Or, okay, so this is a different one that I'm going to pass around. This is rice husk that is available. Actually, I'm going to pass it. Thank you very much. Actually, bueno, ahorita los paso. Okay. So So this is a golden berry when it's up close. This is rice husks. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is the kind of dishes that we can make. So you can actually face people with the real. Yeah. I would like you to pass around. So this is plastic made out of corn milk. Yeah. Well, of cornstarch. This is the wrapping. I want you to. I mean, you can smell it and you can burn it. And this is completely natural plastic. It's very. Yeah. This is corn actually. It's leche de maíz sintetizada. Sí. And the film on it is like that. Yeah, please open it. So that is the different part of the project, is that I can also put this film on editorial material that you're gonna see. Okay, so this is hay. See, it's very beautiful. So the third part on it was we can also use editorial material. I mean, I can open a magazine and I can put a plastic film on it, and actually I can basically make a dish out of anything if you put a plastic ecological film on everything. So what I'm passing around is I can use an atlas, and of a 200-page book I can make 200 dishes. So what we can do is that you can have available dishes that are disposable and ecological out of beautiful things that you actually want to eat on, and that are exciting and it can be fun, and you can put it with theme. So we're getting there. Yeah, okay, so the last part, just give me 30 more seconds, is this. So this was my original plan, was, okay, so if I use the material, I press it, I dry it, and then I thermoform it, the idea of how to expand this project is to create productive units. If you can have, if a company can fund a productive unit of this, basically you can put a factory of this anywhere. You know, you can go into the forest and you can give a community this technology, which is very basic, which is very rudimentary, and people can begin selling themselves, everyone. Like, the way to expand this is that everybody has the chance to have a productive unit. I cannot aspire to be the one that supplies dishes to everyone, but what I can do is try to get the technology to everyone, to have it, to be open technology, so everyone can eventually use their existing materials, and this could grow exponentially for single-use plastics and materials. So that's the project. So thank you, everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna, thank you. Okay, so, oh, sorry. Okay, so what this was is, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so that was, I'm sorry, but what that was is that when I was in Nepal, my motorcycle broke down, and I was sitting down in this place in the middle of Pokhara, and these two guys just sat down and began jamming basically with me. And so what I wanted to say is that actually, like, accidents in that journey create the most amazing and beautiful things. So it has to begin with a journey, and it brings things like that. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you very much.